What up, it's Chris from Laser Lemming and UpandLoaded.com, and before we get started, let's just address the elephant in the room here. You don't see my beautiful, handsome, sexy face, and that's because I'm just trying something different. Haven't done this format in a while, but I want to know what you think. This is me playing a game and talking about something else. That's the format. Pretty simple. I don't think I need to explain it much more beyond that. Only reason I'm doing it is because it might allow me to get more content out there on a more regular basis, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be in front of the camera plenty. I have too much of an ego to just give that up. Anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's topic of conversation, which is Nintendo and the Switch. Folks, Nintendo Switch has been selling pretty well. Just sold 10 million units. That's from the mouth of Nintendo babes themselves. They said that Switch, it's killing it. It's huge, and we launched in March. So that's a pretty big deal. 10 million units for a system in the first 9 months, and it launched in March of all months in the year. PlayStation 4, practically neck and neck. Forbes article by Paul Tassi, he's a contributor. He did the calendar math for me. He said that PlayStation 4 got to 10 million units in 8 months and 29 days. Nintendo Switch, which launched in March, not in October or November when the PlayStation 4 launched. Nintendo Switch got there in 9 months and 7 days. So PlayStation 4, 8 months, 29 days. Nintendo Switch, 9 months and 7 days. That's only about an 8 or 9 day difference depending on how good your calendar is. So Nintendo is right up there with Sony, and Sony has been, well, let's say the PlayStation 4 itself. The PlayStation 4 has been the industry darling this generation. Microsoft pretty much came to E3 2013 actually. They came to E3 2013 and said, hey, Sony, this generation's all yours. Everyone, listen, this is Microsoft talking. Kinect is mandatory, $500, and it's weaker than the PlayStation 4. Thank you very much. Sony, you may have the floor. Oh, by the way, DRM, where no more used games, always online. Microsoft, if you don't like it, get a 360. That was their plan, and it backfired spectacularly, as we all know today. So Sony has been killing it with the PlayStation 4, you know. They have far outsold and outpaced the Xbox One, and I don't think the Xbox One X is going to help Microsoft's situation at all. I mean, I think it's going to have sold pretty well last month and probably pretty decently this month as well because, hey, Christmas, and there are still plenty of enthusiasts that would like to get this $500 super console. But I don't think it's going to ultimately work out for Microsoft the way they really want it to because it's a pretty niche thing. If you have a PlayStation 4 already or even an Xbox One, most people are going to be satisfied with that. There's nothing exclusive. Anyway, let me get back onto the correct soapbox here and talk about the Switch. So they're pretty much on par, a little bit, maybe like a week and a half behind Sony on the sales. And again, they didn't launch in a holiday period, so I think Nintendo's first year will ultimately be stronger than Sony's or the PlayStation 4's first year. But Switch versus Wii U has been a completely different story. The Switch sold 10 million in 9 months. Wii U in total, out of it's now the Wii U's 5th year of life. And I don't know if you can call this year life. The Wii U hasn't really been alive for about past two and a half years. And Nintendo has really just saved all the good stuff for the Switch after they saw the writing on the wall. So Wii U in total, after about four and a half years or so, sold 13.5 million units. And most of that was within the first 2 years and 7 months, which was their 10 million mark. It took the Wii U 2 years and 7 months. That's over 2.5 years to reach 10 million units sold. And the Switch did that in 9 months. In 7 days. So, Nintendo, congrats to you. I think that this is really working out for Nintendo. I mean, now the plan seems to be, instead of just getting one in every household, Nintendo wants to get one in every pair of hands, so everybody in the household. Really treating it like a handheld. I'm using my Switch as both, but I'm still kind of cautious about really taking it outside of the house. I use it as a handheld when I watch TV, and I flip it vice versa every now and then. So Let me know your thoughts of my incoherent ramblings in the comment section below. What do you think? What do you think of Nintendo's big turnaround? I mean, I think there's still work to be done. They need to fix this online system. I don't like the app. Don't like the app. I don't like that it requires a separate battery, essentially. That's the way I'm looking at it. If I needed to use an app for this paid online subscription, I don't want it charging or burning through another battery that I need to charge, especially the most critical battery in my day-to-day life, which is my phone's battery. So, before that random rant, what do you think of Nintendo turning it around with the Switch versus the PlayStation 4? I think the Switch is definitely going to outpace the Xbox One and ultimately outsell the Xbox One, including if you add the Xbox One X sales. What a redundant name, by the way, the Xbox One X. I don't know what Microsoft has probably the worst naming scheme of all of these companies. But I digress. I have finished digressing for the day. Subscribe for more if you have not already. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.